Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are strapping in for a pretty high-stakes look at a giant in cloud computing, Salesforce.
Right.
I mean, for 20 years, they basically defined CRM, customer relationship management. But now, people are asking analysts, investors, even partners, is Salesforce losing its innovative edge?
Yeah, that tension is absolutely central to the sources we pulled together for you today. We've got the financials, Reuters, Barron's, but we also looked at Salesforce's own story. And crucially, we dug into what real users are saying. The feedback, sometimes pretty blunt, coming from developers, longtime users, places like Reddit.
Okay, so our mission here is to figure out why the company seems to have just dramatically shifted its whole focus onto these two big things, Data Cloud and Agentforce. We need to understand what this pivot means for customers, for partners, and really how it should affect your tech spending decisions.
And we do have to touch on that controversy around Mark Benioff's recent comments and why that actually matters more than you might think.
Right, it's not just noise.
It's not. Look, this is a classic platform challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Moving from being the pioneer, the market creator, to being this resilient, innovative platform powerhouse.
And the risk if you stumble during that move.
Exactly.
Big risks.
Okay, let's set the scene. Salesforce's original success, it was built on, well, a brilliant simplicity, really. Taking sales, service, marketing the core clouds off those clunky servers.
Right, moving from on-premise,
To a subscription,
Yeah.
SaaS model.
easy, flexible, they owned cloud CRM.
They absolutely did.
Yeah.
But, the market grew up. Everyone started offering good SaaS features, Microsoft, smaller startups.
So just updating CRM wasn't enough anymore.
No, the game changed. You need platform scale innovation now. And that's built on two pillars. Unified data and, well, AI.
So they had to pivot hard. But what specifically are they betting the farm on? Because it feels like every earnings call, every announcement, it's just these two terms.
It really is. Okay, first one, Data Cloud. They're positioning this as the essential data foundation for their whole Customer 360 platform.
Foundation. Okay.
Yeah, it's meant to handle huge amounts of data in real time. Structured stuff like customer orders, but also unstructured things. Support chats, emails, you name it.
And the big marketing pitch for Data Cloud is the zero-copy architecture. Sounds fancy, but what's the practical benefit for you, the customer?
Basically, it means stop duplicating everything. In the past, if you wanted to run analytics or use AI on your Salesforce data, you often had to copy it somewhere else first. A data lake, a warehouse.
Right, which is slow and expensive.
Exactly. Zero copy promises you can analyze and use the data right where it sits in Salesforce. Less cost, less complexity, faster insights. That's the promise anyway.
I see. So Data Cloud is the engine, and the other pillar, Agentforce, that's kind of the vehicle, the thing it powers.
That's a good way to put it. Agentforce is the second pillar. They market it as the autonomous AI agent layer.
Autonomous agent,
Meaning it does complex stuff on its own, like handling a whole customer service ticket or automating a multi-step sales process without a human needing to step in for every part.
and it runs on Data Cloud.
Explicitly, they say Data Cloud is the heart of Agentforce. It needs that clean, real-time data and metadata to work smartly.
So it's not just two products, it's like a package deal, a dependency.
It really is. And analysts are watching this shift, from selling software modules to selling automated outcomes. Some are calling it services software.
Services software. Less about the tool, more about the job it does automatically.
Precisely.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting, maybe a bit worrying. Is the vision matching the reality on the ground? The marketing sounds amazing, but when you look at execution, especially through user eyes.
Yeah, this is where that Reddit feedback is so telling. We're seeing longtime partners, developers, expressing real frustration.
Like what?
Well, there are claims that Agentforce is, and this is a direct quote we found, half-baked.
Half-baked. Ouch.
Yeah, another user talked about their support experience using the agent features, called it underwhelming. Said flat out, I was not impressed. It's a half-baked product at best.
Wow. That's a major red flag if you're considering dropping serious money on this.
It absolutely is.
And this links directly to something listeners worry about, feeling forced into buying new stuff. If Agentforce needs Data Cloud, then the message seems to be, want the cool AI, you gotta buy this whole underlying data infrastructure first, even if you didn't think you needed it.
It definitely creates bundle pressure. Even if technically they're separate SKUs, the push is clearly towards adopting both. You pay for the engine just to get a test drive of the fancy new car.
Okay, let's talk about the price of admission.
Yeah.
Because the sources mentioned a number that just jumped out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We need to talk cost and competition. I mean, for smaller companies, the whole Salesforce stack can already seem, well, bloated, complex. You've got HubSpot, Monday.com, others doing CRM-ish things cheaper.
Right. The competitive landscape is fierce, especially outside the very top end of the market.
But that cost detail, what was it?
Yeah, that user commentary.
Yeah.
One comment cited the list price for Data Cloud alone at $108,000 per year.
Hold on. $108,000 a year for one component. From Salesforce, the company that preached flexible, pay-as-you-go cloud.
Yep. That's the number floating around in user communities.
How does that work for the mid-market customers they built their name on?
Well, the tough answer seems to be, it doesn't. That price point, it's not just a price, it's like a filter. It signals very clearly they're not really focused on the mid-market with this strategy.
They're going all in on the giants.
It looks that way, betting entirely on the Fortune 500, the huge enterprises where, frankly, 108K is maybe a rounding error if the tech delivers huge value.
Okay, that totally changes the risk calculation for buyers, but it leads straight to the next big question. Those Fortune 500 companies, many already have sophisticated data platforms, right? Snowflake, Databricks, custom stuff on AWS, Azure.
Absolutely. Very mature data stacks.
So if you already have a powerful data warehouse or lakehouse, why pay another $108,000 for Data Cloud? What's the extra value?
That's the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? The incremental value, it seems. It's strong, but only if you're already completely all in on the Salesforce ecosystem. Meaning you run your sales, your service, your marketing, everything through Customer 360. If you live and breathe Salesforce.
Then Data Cloud makes it smoother inside that bubble.
Theoretically, yes. The native integration, that zero-copy promise, it should simplify data flows within the Salesforce walls, pulling data from Service Cloud to Marketing Cloud, powering Agentforce natively, that kind of thing.
But if Snowflake or Databricks is already your main source of truth.
Well, despite the marketing, the value proposition for Data Cloud gets much harder to justify. You're adding another expensive layer, more complexity, on top of what you already manage. The cost benefit needs very careful scrutiny.
Okay, now we need to look at the fallout. Investors are watching all this uncertainty and reacting.
They are. Analyst reports are talking about decision fatigue among enterprise buyers.
Decision fatigue.
Yeah, it's not just general economic caution. It's specific to this constant push from Salesforce. Adopt this new, expensive foundation, Data Cloud, just to get access to the next thing, Agentforce.
The buyers just wait.
Apparently.
Yeah.
They postpone the decision. The price tag, the complexity, the implementation effort.
Yeah.
Keeps resetting the buying cycle.
And we saw the impact on the stock, right? Q3 guidance wasn't great.
No, it was weak. Triggered about a 7% share drop back in September 2025. That wasn't just market jitters. That was investors asking, hey, is this huge focus on AI hurting the core SaaS business that actually makes the money?
A valid question.
A very valid question. And that connects to the other risk factor, the non-product stuff, leadership.
The Mark Benioff comments.
Exactly. October 2025, his public call to deploy the National Guard in San Francisco, setting aside the politics of it.
Right. We're not judging the stance itself, but the timing and focus.
The timing and focus were seen by many as problematic. It raised governance questions, brand risk. Why is the CEO talking about this when the market needs clarity on Data Cloud, on Agentforce execution?
It felt like a distraction when execution was already being questioned.
Precisely. And it wasn't just abstract concern. There was a real consequence.
Yeah.
A prominent investor publicly resigned from Salesforce's philanthropic board because of those comments.
Wow.
Yeah, directly linking the leadership commentary to investor confidence and trust. So you get this dual risk. Shaky product execution meets leadership distraction.
Okay, so there are definitely clouds gathering.
Yeah.
But you can't just write off Salesforce, can you? They're massive. What are the strengths keeping them resilient through all this?
Oh, absolutely. Several key advantages. First, just their enormous enterprise footprint. Switching costs are insane for big companies deeply embedded in Salesforce.
They're locked in.
Functionally, yes.
Yeah.
For many, migrating away is just too disruptive, too expensive. Second, the sheer scale of their platform and ecosystem. Huge partner network, massive installed base, that creates inertia.
So even if Data Cloud is pricey, ripping out the core CRM is even pricier.
That's the calculation for many. And third, look, if they actually nail the big bet on agentic AI, if they successfully integrate the data and the AI agents,
it could be a game changer.
it could be huge, truly autonomous AI agents handling complex customer interactions. That, the next frontier. If Salesforce gets that right, built on their CRM dominance, it creates incredibly sticky value. It could secure their future for another decade.
Okay, so wrapping this all together, what does it mean for you, the listener, trying to make smart decisions? The sources seem to give us a pretty clear framework before jumping into Data Cloud or Agent Force.
You need to ask some hard questions. First, do you have a crystal clear high-value use case for this combo unified data plus AI agents? Something that delivers measurable ROI, not just, we should probably do some AI.
Good point. Question 2.
Are you already deeply invested in the Salesforce platform? Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, the whole 9 yards. Because if you are, the integration benefits of Data Cloud might outweigh using external tools. Maybe.
And the third question seems crucial if you already have a data strategy.
Right. If you're already running Snowflake, Databricks, or something similar, ask yourself honestly,
Yeah.
will Data Cloud materially reduce your overall cost or complexity? Or is it just adding another expensive silo onto your existing setup?
So it boils down to necessity versus novelty, especially at that 6-figure price point.
Exactly. Look, Salesforce is definitely evolving its narrative from CRM to platform, data, AI. That story is powerful. But the execution concerns, the customer caution, that's real business risk you need to factor in.
So for organizations looking at Salesforce now, the question isn't really, is Salesforce bad?
No, not at all. It's more like, does this new, expensive, heavily bundled version of Salesforce fit our specific needs, our budget, and maybe most importantly, our pace of innovation?
Which brings us to a final thought, something for you to chew on. If Salesforce's core value proposition is truly shifting, moving away from relationship management towards data intelligence, how do they manage that transition without overwhelming customers? How do they ensure the complexity and cost of the new stuff doesn't cause them to neglect the core CRM functions, especially when buyers are already facing this decision fatigue?
That's the tightrope they're walking.
Yeah.
Balancing the future bet against the present business that pays for it all.
Mm.
It's going to be fascinating to watch.